Again, I'm Jamila. Most of you probably already know me. And today I will be talking about which books to read. It's not going to be about like generic books. It will be mainly focused on writing. So in Amazon, in AWS, we write a lot. So regardless of you are in technical role, non-technical role, management position, junior position, it doesn't matter. You write a lot. And it is very important because it helps you grow regardless of your level, regardless of your seniority, and it helps to clarify your thoughts and what you actually want to do. And especially what I really like in Amazon, that if you have an idea, for example, or if you are working on something, you can come up and you will need to write a one-pager. So basically all your ideas or all your thoughts, you need to compress it to one-pager, and you need to specifically highlight what is the benefit of your idea, or what is the benefit of whatever you are trying to achieve. It's similar with blog post writing. It's similar with having a new idea about the process or internal things, or might be even external. And so one pager is important. And how to write it and how to start actually writing is, at first I was thinking it's quite easy. Well, the main thing, you have your thoughts, you have your ideas, just go and start writing, right? It's as simple as it gets, but apparently no. And I faced that when I started my blog post writing in AWS blog channel. I don't want to say it was difficult, but it was challenging for me, because I always looked at writing as it's easy, right? Just go and write. But it wasn't the case, because especially if you're writing a technical blog post, and if you want to specify all the technical details, it might get complicated, because you will go down very deep, and you will just basically write that, okay, what this code is doing, that's it. But any other people who will be reading your blog post or your solution will be thinking that it is complicated. It is not what it's meant to be, and it will the writing communication will get broken in the middle. And that's why I thought it will be good for people also to understand the necessity of learning how to write for technical people, how to simplify their technical mindset and the explanation of technical complexity. And for that, of course, you can go and find different resources, right? You can go ahead to AWS documentations or any other documentations, just start reading it and understanding the structure. For example, you can go ahead and look at the blog post from AWS, like let's see, like the technical solution, and you can start analyzing the structure, like the introduction, the solution overview, and how the authors actually summarizing it, what they're highlighting, what is the structure, and what is the the main purpose of the blog post. And then you can start experimenting for yourself. Like if you're preparing for the interview and you have, let's say, a couple of questions that you are thinking you might get asked. Those questions, take your answer in star format that we already covered in our previous sessions. Just take your answer in star format and try to write it down. Try to write it down in a structured way, and then try to show it to your mentor, to your friend. It can be even to your partner who is out of the literature, for example, and just say, hey, can you read and tell me what you think? Because when we're saying it, it's easy for us, because we can understand the emotions, we can understand the face expression, and we can understand that, okay, is it clear enough for that person or not? But when you're writing, actually, it's quite difficult. You don't get it, that sense. You can show your partner, you can just brainstorm with your friends, like read it, give it 5 minutes. If that person is able to read within 5 minutes your one pager, your idea, your technical implementation that you did, then you did a great job, probably. And then you ask them to tell you what you meant in your writing. If it's exactly 101, then great, you're doing a great job. Just keep doing it, and maybe you will extend your knowledge to writing blog posts and publishing maybe on different channels like medium.com. I'm reading lots of blog posts, technical blog posts from medium.com as well. So you can stretch your skills on that dimension as well. I think I started to talk a lot. So Ashish, I will ask you to share the slides, and I will start actually, to start actually start from one point to read books about writing, and then start to kind of look at your writing and reconsider your kind of story and your writing abilities as well. And before I actually start talking about the books, I see the comments on my screen, and I see someone posted their my blog post. So thank you very much, Venkat Career 001. Thank you very much for posting my blog post. Yes, that's exactly the blog post I was talking about. Cool. So let me just start talking about the books. Yeah, so the first book you see on the screen, Save the Cat. So it's essentially, and I divided the books based on the categories. So the category for the first one is, as you see, primarily focuses on structure and formula. So as I said, when you have your ideas, especially you are deeply technical or you're not technical but trying to get technical, and you're starting to talk about the technical things that you've done, and your idea might get really complicated and you might lose the structure. So this book can help you. It's like basics in the college. It helps you to build up your stories and focuses on formula and structure, how to start, what to focus, etc. These books are not necessarily for technical writing, but I believe if you start exercising on just regular structure, it will help you with technical writing as well. Then the second one, story engineering, is like a masterclass in storytelling and novel writing. So it focuses deeply on some core elements or competencies of successful storytelling. I think this is also important because when you are interviewing, no matter which companies, bigger, smaller, startups, it is important that you know how to tell your story and how you can deliver your story that the people who are listening will believe you. And mainly sometimes when we're interviewing the candidates, yes, they tell you the story, yes, they tell you the important things they did, but sometimes it's not convincing enough, or maybe they are lacking the structure or the storyline, and they are not able to deliver it in the manner that other person on the other side of the screen will understand the way that they want to be understood. So story engineering book will be heavily focusing on structure. So this is something that you really, if you really want to understand and learn how to structure your stories, your writing, then story engineering book will fit you. And the next book is about Cashvertising. So as if you want to be blogger, successful blogger, I think you might find it really helpful because most bloggers, it has the most modern approach and best summary of the key points covered in the fundamental copywriting books. So let's face it, successful blogging in persuasive writing in another suit of kind of clothes. So it doesn't matter if you want to make money from your blog or not. If you're writing just a simple LinkedIn blog post, if you are putting your energy and time, you do want it to be catchy, to get some attention maybe that you want to get, or some reactions from your audience. So this book, which is also relying on structure and using the mechanics of language, will help you to achieve your end goal. And the last but not least, my dearest colleague James, who will be live shortly, who recommended me to read this book about Stephen King on writing. So even if you never read any King's gory thrillers, this book is a must read. So James told me that. I've got from other colleagues that, hey, this is a must read book. So this is definitely the highlight of the books. So people even were telling me that if you read it, great, then you have to reread it at least once a year. So I will be honest, I haven't read it, but since all my colleagues around, including James, recommended me to read this book, it's a must read, then I will be reading. So it's like very much a memoir. So the description that I read, it's very much like a memoir. King uses stories of his wild childhood to illustrate the making of writers. So besides memorable stories, you'll get insight into structure, key takeaways on mechanics, and his position on what's important to the writing craft and to writers. You have to get peer inside his head and see how his mind formulates those ideas and crafts unworldly plots. So you will be both awed and inspired to suddenly see story elements all around you. With that being said, this is something definitely worth reading, and I will be reading too. And if you already read any of these books on the slide, please type it in the comment section so I can see who read it and potentially see your comments. If you haven't, please pick one of these books that you think will be beneficial for you, and maybe let's create a challenge, right? Feel free to take a screenshot, shoot it on the link on LinkedIn and tag me and say, okay, I'm starting a challenge. Within 30 days I will read this and that, and I will share my feedback or thoughts, etc. It's all possible, right?